Welcome back to Kansei. Where when we last left off, we discovered a body. In the hallway, Naoki and Lee Mei were waiting.
Lee Mei said he's gone.
I nod slowly.
What happened?
I think it was poisoning, but I don't know.
Did you see it?
Yeah, he was scared of something. Someone, I think. I still don't know why. His final wish was to protect the vault.
What's the vault?
No clue.
We should find Aki. She'll know what to do.
She's coming.
Lee Mei turns toward the staircase just as Aki reaches the top.
Hey, what happened? The lights went out for a moment.
Mr. Auten died.
Died? How?
Poisoning, it seems.
Did you read his last moments?
Yeah, he was regretting meeting someone. Said he needed to protect a vault of some sort.
Interesting. I haven't seen any vaults around here, but I assumed that it would be hidden.
Detective Gursky exits the study with Sophia. She appears to have calmed down, but her body still trembles every time she breathes in.
The police are on their way. It's a bit of a drive for them, so we'll have to sit tight until then. I suggest we all wait downstairs. As I don't have any jurisdiction here, it's only a suggestion.
He looks directly at me.
But it's the best option if you want to stay unnoticed.
He turns and leads Sophia down the staircase, helping her with one step at a time. Aki frowns as they leave.
Always the gentleman.
Scared to see me, but he wasn't surprised. Does he know me? Darwin's final wish is to protect a secret vault from someone. Where is this vault, anyways? Huh?
Nothing. Anyway, we should probably follow his suggestion and head downstairs. We wouldn't want to get into any more trouble than we already are.
What do you mean by that? Since when were we in trouble?
It's not you.
Aki shoots a glance at him, and the expression on his face makes it obvious that she just told him something. I suddenly remember something that was bothering me earlier. You know, Detective Gursky told me that you guys belong to the government. What does that mean?
It means that Miko shouldn't talk so much.
She heads down the stairs before I can ask anything else. Naoki follows meekly, but Lee Mei stays with me. What's up?
Do you truly want to know?
About you guys? Well, I think I deserve an explanation.
But do you want one?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
We're on parole for crimes past.
Oh.
Gursky is our parole officer.
What? Lee Mei nods once, looking satisfied with her succinct explanation. She turns and heads down the stairs without another word. So is all that about the, getting the trust of the police, stopping a diplomat's assassination, was that a lie? Doesn't necessarily mean it's a lie, if this is the actual truth, but like, those two facts are not mutually exclusive, but still. Parole? They're all convicts. Wait, even Naoki? Digital crimes. Aki I can understand, but Naoki? What about Lee Mei? What did she do? I'm really starting to worry about the sort of people I've fallen in with here. Slowly I descend the staircase, measuring one step after another. Maybe I really shouldn't have asked. I get to the bottom. Detective Gursky glances at me with mild amusement.
Glad you could make it. Did you take a wrong turn somewhere?
No.
You okay?
I'm fine. Look around the room, hoping to change the subject. Where did everyone go?
Miss Millerson wasn't feeling well, so Naoki offered to make some tea for her. They both went to the kitchen. Aki said she had to use the restroom, although I suspect she just wants to look around. And I'm never entirely sure what Lee Mei is doing. The house is in lockdown right now, so it won't let any of us leave until Sophia unlocks it. I guess you can roam around or do whatever you feel like.
Okay. Oh shit. Examination mechanics. Detective Gursky stands across the room from me, all his arms folded across his chest. He appears to be deep in thought, but It's not long before he notices that I'm looking at him.
What?
Nothing.
Well, that's not true.
Nothing I want to talk about, then. He uncrosses his arms and sighs.
I don't know where you've been all these years or why, but that look in your eyes is still the same.
What look?
The one that says you're already trying to figure everything out. It's like watching someone who just started work on a puzzle. You're digging through the pieces and looking to build a frame, but you don't have much yet.
That much is true. I don't remember seeing you before, though.
I doubt you would. We've never met in person.
What?
I sure heard a lot about you, though. Both of you.
What? I suddenly feel my stomach knot up. How much is a lot?
Not enough, apparently. I thought you were dead. We all did.
Yeah, that was kind of on purpose. Okay.
Do you have any idea how much work was put into finding you?
Don't even start. I'm not in the mood to hear a lecture from someone who doesn't know what I'm going through.
You know, back in the day, I couldn't go 10 minutes without hearing your names. Oh, they're so great. What heroes these kids are. Why can't we have such helpful people here? What a joke. When we found her body, the first person they looked for was you, but you were nowhere to be found. At first, they thought you had been kidnapped. As days passed, they thought maybe you had been killed. When I saw you yesterday, I thought you had finally come back to do something worthwhile again.
I solved that murder for you, didn't I? What more do you want?
What about your sister's murder? You're the only witness, but you ran away. Why?
He doesn't understand anything. It's complicated.
Things are only as complicated as you want them to be.
Didn't Aki use the same thing on us? Yeah, Aki told me the same thing this morning.
Then maybe you should listen.
I'd rather you don't get involved. It's something I have to deal with on my own.
Sorry, kid. I'm sworn to uphold the law. Even if you don't want me getting involved, I kinda have to.
I know, just... I sigh and let my hands fall to my sides. Well, that answers the question that Aki posed in part 1. Or that was posed in part 1, with adjacent to Aki, in relation to, Detective Gursky knew that we were lying in Jisei when we were talking about where we came from, where we lived. And he didn't call us out on it, because he knows us. It's not what you think.
We'll talk about this more later, but I promise that this isn't over. I got a call this morning about my report from yesterday. You've already caused a disturbance with your return.
Oh no. Did Schultz find out yet?
Are you kidding? She was the first.
And that's why I didn't want to tell you who I was. I knew they'd all find out that I was back.
They'd find you eventually. It was only a matter of time.
Am I in trouble?
Yeah, I'd say so. If it weren't for Aki's insistence that you stay with her, I'm sure they'd already have come to take you back.
This is not good. This is so not good. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, I don't know. Why don't you try actually having a backbone this time around?
What does that mean? Listen, I'm sorry, okay? I was 15 and stupid, and I shouldn't have run away. Can we just focus on the dead body that we've got on our hands right now? I kind of feel like we're letting the past get in the way of the present.
The present only exists because of the past, you know.
Didn't Aki also say that? Gursky studies my face carefully, gauging my reaction. Finally, he sighs and shakes his head.
But I see your point. Figuring out the cause of death for Mr. Auten does take priority right now. I'll be upstairs. Come talk to me if you find out anything.
Well, Jesus Christ, holy shit. That was a fucking lot to take in. So, obviously, the two kids we saw in the intro were Kansei and his sister here. Something happened to his sister. They're obviously some sort of savants here. Possibly either police savants or some other raised in an institute savants. Just going off the context of the conversation, really felt like they're coming to take me back. That screams to me some kind of institutional, born and raised, super genius kids solving crimes, possibly? Don't know. You don't know enough yet, but definitely raised together, doing super things together. Something happened. Sister died. Brother runs away. Examine room. It's a water fountain. The glass orb is lit by a light bulb. Looks like there's a bowl in the middle. Guess that back in the day it held oil for a flame. Oh shit. First glance, it appears to be a peach tree, but all the peaches are actually light bulbs. That's sort of interesting. Some sort of Chinese calligraphy. Too bad I can't read it. Live bamboo. I bet a panda would enjoy it. That's the door to Mr. Auten's office. I'm fairly certain that I'm not allowed in there. I suppose we can't examine anything in the foreground. Okay, I don't think there's anything to see here, per se. Alright, done exploring. Move. Can go upstairs, though. Oh, hi, Gursky. We'll go back downstairs, though. Go in the hallway. As I enter the hallway, I nearly run over by a guy as he rushes out from around the corner.
Whoa! Sorry, dude.
Oh, hey, dude. He skids to a halt and jumps a few times, holding his hands out in self-defense. Hi? He stops for a moment to look me over.
Never seen you around before. You're not one of Liam's friends, are you?
Not really.
Oh, good. I can't stand Liam's friends. Don't tell him I said that.
Your secret's safe with me, I guess. Who are you?
Kevin, I'm the IT guy. I run all the security here. Got a blip in my system saying the power went out, so I came here to see what happened. Sophia hasn't been answering my calls.
You came here? I thought the house was in lockdown. Kevin taps the temple of his head.
Master code unlocks any door.
Right.
And who are you again?
Perks of being admin. Kansei. I'm a, special investigator.
Wicked. So Big Will is finally gonna bring down the hammer on Liam in his little nightlife.
Big Will? Does he mean William Auten? Actually, Mr. Auten just passed away. Kevin stares at me blankly for a moment, but his expression slowly changes as he processes my statement.
Passed away? As in, dead?
Not entirely sure there's another way to interpret that.
Whoa.
Kevin runs his fingers through his hair and laughs nervously.
Sorry, man, this is just... Wow, I can't believe it. It's kinda unreal, you know? I just saw him yesterday and he looked fine. Well, as fine as a guy his age can look. Well, as fine as a super paranoid guy his age can look. Well, as fine as a super paranoid guy who drinks a lot at his age.
Yeah, I get it.
So what happened?
I don't even know what happened myself. I'm not exactly sure what to tell this guy. Not sure, probably a heart attack or something. Let's not
That's
tell
not a
him
surprise.
much.
He kept refusing to see a doctor. Man, Sophia would beg him to at least get a...
Oops, sorry.
That's not a surprise. He kept refusing to see a doctor. Man, Sophia would beg him to at least get a checkup, but he'd have none of that.
Don't quote me on that, though. I can't say for sure if it is or it isn't.
Really is a shame, though. He was a good man. Did a lot of good work in the medical world.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Auten Engineering was big into making fake organs and stuff. I hear they saved a lot of lives. Man, dead? Really?
He shakes his head.
Sorry, that's just too weird. I'm still having a hard time believing it.
Kevin blinks a few times, as if he's not sure he's really awake.
I'll be in the security room if you need me. It's the first door on the left here in this hallway.
Oh, okay. It's a retina scanner. Door only unlocks if you have clearance. There's a keypad attached to it, but I could override the scanner if I knew the right codes. Like the master codes. It's an old painting on the silk scroll. It appears to be a mountain of some sort. Cave of some sort. Forest of some sort. A vase with some sort of plant. The vase looks authentic, but the plant is definitely a fake. Ocean of some sort. Cave of some sort. Forest of some sort. Mountain of some sort. Anything else to see here? Not really much. Let's move. Oh my god, we can go lots of places. Oh. Restroom. Weird. This looks like he built this place with visitors in mind. Wonder what changed. A restroom with a fucking lounge chair. God damn. A lamp. The body's made of porcelain. A soap dispenser. According to the label, it's evergreen scented, but it just smells like soap to me. Sink with a porcelain basin. Guess you're supposed to dry your hands on these towels. Where exactly am I supposed to put the towel after that? There's a space between the frame and the wall, so it's not a two-way mirror. Can't believe I'm checking for this. Old habits die hard, I guess. Okay, so that tells me that he's used to being surveilled. And checking for surveillance. Bathroom stall with a toilet in it. This place is a lot like a public restroom. I wonder if Mr. Auten used to accept a lot of guests. Wait, and a fucking lounge chair. This chair is sadly not as comfortable as it looks. Oh, okay. Lamp. The bulb uses a lower wattage than an incandescent bulb. Aki would probably attempt some sort of Mr. Watted joke at this point. Yeah, fair. That's a hell of a restroom. What's in here? Oh, this is nice. Door slides open to reveal a wide room furnished with some expensive furniture. If I had to name it, I'd call it the living room, but it doesn't feel very lived in at all.
Oh, Kanai, hello!
Oh, Marissa, you're here. Hey. Looks happy to see me. Did I do something?
Hey, did something happen? I saw Sophia rush by with that nice boy, but he didn't tell me what was going on.
Oh, yeah. Not sure that there's a tactful way to put this. Mr. Auten died.
What? Are you kidding?
No. Marissa stares into my eyes, searching me with a mixture of fear and panic. I stare back until the truth of the incident sinks in. Her expression changes slowly as she realizes that I'm not lying.
Are you sure? What happened?
What should I tell her? Not sure.
Did he die of natural causes?
Why would you ask that?
William Auten is not a popular man. His business practices are already reprehensible, and there have been rumors of unethical treatment of some of his test subjects. That's why I came. I was hoping I'd be able to uncover something about what he might be doing.
So you're really just sneaking around and trying to dig up some dirt?
It's really not what you think.
Okay, then what?
Nothing.
Okay, maybe we can ask all of the things. What sort of illegal things was Mr. Auten doing?
Oh, it's hard to say. Everything's just rumor, you know? It would be awfully irresponsible of me to spread false information, so I really need some hard evidence before I say anything else.
Right, sure. It's obvious that there's something that she doesn't want to tell me. I wonder if she's a victim of Mr. Alton's actions in the past. Her herself or a family member, perhaps. What about Liam? Earlier you talked about some rumors. about Liam. What was that all about?
Ah, those. Well, recently, word's been going around that Liam Auten is involved in dogfighting.
Oh, well, fuck that guy then. Whoa, that's a felony.
Not to mention extremely cruel.
I'm glad he chose to draw the line somewhere, at least.
I'm fairly certain he was just getting fed up with Liam's antics. It's one thing to dismiss underage drinking, but the heat from Liam's participation in animal cruelty is bad publicity he didn't need. I heard he was planning on cutting Liam from his will completely.
Planning on? So he didn't get around to it yet.
As far as I can tell, no. But you'd really have to ask someone more knowledgeable than I.
No more questions. I don't have any other questions right now.
Sure thing. See you soon.
No more questions.
I'll talk to you later then.
Okay, nothing else to talk about. Dining room table. Looks like it could host a lot of people, but judging from the dust in the middle, doubt it's been used for a while. 2,000 channels and still nothing on. Ain't that a mood? Some sort of combo disc player that reads all sorts of formats. It's empty. Nothing about the inset. Guard is made up of evergreens. I think those flowers are called rhododendrons. They're a fairly low-maintenance plant. Really much to see here. Shockingly little to see here. The door leads back into the main hallway. Benefits of organ reproduction. Looks like some sort of corporate presentation or informational video. Can we watch it? Alright, I think we're done here. What else we got? Hello. Whoa. Guess where I found where he keeps all his rich person stuff. Oh, Lee May. Hello. I was gonna have a look around first. Strange tapestry with some animals on them. There's a turtle and some bird. Not sure what the other two are. Dragon and tiger? These plates have the same animals as the tapestry. I guess these creatures are really important. Some old art. Sorry. Jeez. Some old armor from the Qin dynasty. The label is to be believed. Looks like it's still in decent condition, so I guess it worked pretty well for whoever owned it previously. Very nice urn. Must have been expensive when it was first made. Probably even more expensive now. A lot of strange markings on this thing. According to the label, it's an oracle bone? I guess people tried to see the future with this? Possibly. Sword. Base. Some sort of box. There's no label on it. Guess it's not that important. Built it lies. It's probably going to be the most important thing here. I'm not sure where that door leads. Outside, I guess? Either way, it's locked. This seems like a good place for a vault. A vault's where you keep rich people things. Hi, Lee May. Lee May is gazing blankly in the direction of a collection of old plates. I approach, but she barely seems to notice my presence. So, hey. Lee May blinks slowly and turns to face me. She nods once to acknowledge my presence. I shift my weight from one foot to the next as she stares at me expectantly. What am I even supposed to say? How are you feeling? She stares at me with a mixture of surprise and confusion.
I don't know.
It's a good question. She states it so simply. I almost feel foolish for asking. I guess I was wondering if you were okay since someone died and all. She tilts her head and looks at me curiously.
Does it bother you?
Does what bother me?
Death.
Oh. It's a good question. It's a genuinely good question. Not really. Guess I'm used to it by now. I still think it's sad, but I'm kind of numb to it all. I stare at my hands and rub my fingers slowly together. Palms feel sweaty. What about you? Lee May stares at me curiously, as if she doesn't fully understand my question. I mean, are you bothered by death? If you are. She fidgets and examines her open palms the same way I just did. Slowly she rubs together her fingertips as if she's never seen her hands before. Finally, she speaks.
He was very scared.
Mr. Auten?
Yes, but even though I felt his fear, I knew that I was not scared. I'm not scared, but I still feel scared. Does that mean I'm bothered or not bothered?
I sigh and lean on against the doorframe. You know, I've always wondered what it would feel like to die. Limei tilts her head to the side. She looks curious. I mean, I've experienced deaths, of course, but they're not mine. Somewhere in the back of my mind, every time I do it, I always know it's not mine. I've always wondered, when I die, will I be afraid? Will I think that it's just someone else's death again? By the time I die, I'll be so comfortable with it I wouldn't care, even though I know it's mine. Turn to face Limei. She's watching my face carefully. I don't know. That wasn't really an answer, huh? I laugh and shrug casually. Honestly, I don't even know why I said any of that. Guess what I'm trying to say is that there isn't really an answer. You and I both have to carry other people's emotions. It's tiring, and sometimes it's confusing. I think that if we didn't have these abilities, we'd still be sad when other people are sad, and scared when other people are scared. That's just being human. Limei smiles and takes my hand in hers. Oh,
Thank you.
Sure. You're welcome. Oh, goodness. Got a lot to talk about. What's everybody feeling right now?
Naoki is scared.
Understandably. And no, I mean the others, not our friends.
Oh.
Oh.
I apologize.
Well, that's okay. I mean, I'm still curious, at least. Come on, con guy. That's fine. I wasn't very specific. Limei takes a deep breath and closes her eyes again. That is kind of cute that her first instinct was to focus on her friends. What if she does that a lot? Just kind of looking after Naoki and Aki. In that way. Limei takes a deep breath and closes her eyes again. This time it takes her a little longer to sort out her thoughts.
Sophia is sad. She feels as if there is no hope, but there is also relief. Marissa is scared and disappointed.
No answers there.
There's so much emotion inside of her. It's all flowing at the same time. She wants to be happy, but she also feels very guilty.
Something going on with her.
Humans are very complicated.
You got that right. Limei nods earnestly, as if she's just struck a new idea. I nod in return.
Kevin is uncertain. He does not know what he should be feeling.
Definitely seemed to have trouble believing when I told him that Mr. Auten died. Denial, I guess.
And Liam... I can't.
What's wrong?
He's with Aki right now. She is manipulating his emotions with her Kansei. I cannot tell what is his and what is not.
Oh. Aki. Girl seems to enjoy invading everybody's privacy. It's a wonder that Naoki and Limei just put up with her. Hopefully whatever she's up to leads to something useful. What did you do before you lived with Aki and Naoki?
I'm not
Aki
allowed
and
to speak
Aki
about
and
that.
Naoki. Eh? Is there anything you are allowed to speak about? Limei closes her eyes and takes a small breath. Her lips move slowly as if she's poring over the list of things she's allowed to share. Finally, she opens her eyes and smiles with a self-satisfied look on her face.
I'm authorized to share anything that might aid your investigation.
Good. Whoa, what's with that phrasing? She sounds so formal all of a sudden. Well, alright, we'll come back to that, I guess. What's the calligraphy in the front hallway say?
No dust settles here. It means that this place is quiet and safe from influence of the outside world.
That's... Huh, okay. If it wasn't the house of someone so paranoid with security measures that lock the place down and shit. Of that sort. Wasn't for all of that, it'd be a pretty touching sentiment, I think. Do you know much about the artifacts in this place? We may nods. Would you like to share? Could you maybe tell me about them?
If you wish.
Yeah, I do.
Most are safety charms meant to ward off danger.
Oh. Turn to the large tapestry on the wall. What about this? What are these animals?
They are the 4 legendary creatures: tortoise, dragon, phoenix, and tiger.
Oh. I was right on one of those, tiger. I didn't realize that dragon was one of the ones that he already recognized. And yeah, that's phoenix. Some reason this mythology feels familiar, but I'm not sure why. It's not anything I've ever studied. Do they stand for anything in particular?
Many things. Seasons, directions on the compass, sometimes schools of thought. Overall, they represent balance.
It's weird. They feel kind of familiar, especially the tiger.
The tiger and the dragon are mortal enemies.
Mime reaches out as if to touch the tapestry, but she hesitates and draws her hand back.
The dragon represents cunning and intelligence, and the tiger represents raw power and strength. Dragon and tiger, mind and body.
I just noticed the skull and crossbones in your hair there.
They fight each other constantly, but neither can win.
My stomach tightens up as I look at the tapestry hanging on the wall. An endless fight where neither can win. Mime watches me carefully. She's trying to decipher my emotions, but I don't even fully understand what I'm feeling.
What bothers you?
I'm not sure. It's probably nothing. Mime doesn't seem satisfied with my response. No surprise there, since I'm not satisfied either. Okay, that's a cute pout face. Disappointedly, I don't really have anything else to say, though, so our conversation devolves into an uncomfortable silence. No more questions. I'll talk to you later. She nods. We've seen about everything we can see here. Okay, tortoise, dragon, phoenix, and tiger. Mime says they're from Chinese mythology. These creatures really are important. Alright, nothing more to see here. Museum, question marks? The atmosphere in the kitchen is tense. The sound of my footsteps sounds unusually loud on the tile floor. Hey.
Hey.
Hi, Naoki. Naoki welcomes me with a half-hearted smile. Sophia is standing at the other end of the kitchen, sipping slowly on a cup of tea. Her eyes don't waver from the small cup in her hands. I lean in towards Naoki. Is she okay?
I think so. She's not crying as much, at least.
Sophia's face is still pale, but she looks a lot better than she did when we first found Mr. Auten's body.
Kansei,
Yes?
I hope you don't mind if I ask you something.
No. Go ahead.
How did you know that something bad happened to Mr. Auten?
That's...
Difficult to explain, and you might not believe me if I did.
Naoki, please. I was asking Kansei.
How do we even explain? Kansei.
Sorry.
So, how did you know?
Oh boy. What should I say? If I tell the truth, she might think I'm crazy, but I really don't want to lie to her. I don't think she'll buy a lucky guess. I guess you could say I have a sort of sixth sense.
A sixth sense? As in psychic?
I guess you could call it that.
Can you give me details on how it works?
Whoa, she actually sounds like she might believe me. I can't really say. I just feel things. I get sick sometimes, and I know something bad has happened. Naoki is staring hard at me. as if I should keep quiet. I guess just talking about my Kansei is a bad idea. Still, at least feel as if she deserves at least a partial truth.
I see. I suppose it's different then.
Different? From what?
Many years ago, Mr. Auten experimented with extending the mental capacities of human beings.
I'm sorry, what?
It's not like what you described, though.
Naoki still has his cringe face on there.
What sort of experiments?
I don't really know much about it. It was a long time ago, before I started working for him. He just mentioned it in passing once, so I thought maybe that had something to do with it. He was terribly drunk at the time, though, so I suppose he might not have even been telling the truth.
I could see him telling the truth that he would not have told normally under any circumstances.
I'm sorry, I'm jumping to the strangest conclusions here. I must not be in a very good frame of mind right now.
Sophia sighs and shuts her eyes. She looks like she wants to cry again. I'm sorry. You really cared about Mr. Auten, didn't you? For a moment, Sophia doesn't respond. Her shoulders shudder as she takes in a deep breath. Finally, she opens her eyes and speaks in barely more than a whisper.
I don't know what I'm going to do now that he's gone.
I'm so sorry.
Naoki places a gentle hand on Sophia's shoulder. For a moment, I feel strange. She definitely sounds sincere. Something about what she said sounds off. Earlier, Lee May said that she was feeling relieved. Relieved about what? Something's wrong, but I can't place it.
I'm sorry. I just really want to find the person who did this. If there's anything you need to know, just ask, okay?
But one explanation I can think for feeling relieved over this is that if she felt he was suffering. Yeah, sure. Thanks. Whether it was mentally suffering or medically suffering or whatnot. It's sad, but I can see a circumstance where its passing could come as a relief to her. Naoki broski, what do you think about Mr. Auten's death?
What do I think? I think it's terrible.
Mood.
I'm sorry that you had to see him dead.
Why are you apologizing to me? Well, I meant, who do you think did it?
I really can't say. I don't want to make any judgments.
He glances to the side and begins to absent-mindedly fiddle with his fingers. Can you at least tell me your thoughts on everyone here?
Well, Liam is pretty angry with his uncle. His eyebrows went down every time he spoke about him. He covered his face when Aki started asking more questions, so he's got something to hide. I'm pretty sure Marissa's hiding something too. Every time she smiles, her eyebrows go up, as if she's worried.
You're a body language
After
expert.
she finished her interview with Mr. Auten, she was even more nervous than before.
I don't think we really got that impression from you and Jisei. Naoki glances at Sophia before leaning in and whispering.
Sophia was pretty frustrated when we came, but now she's really anxious. She won't stop pacing back and forth.
And what about Kevin?
You mean that guy with the red hair? I didn't really get to see his face. Sorry.
Don't worry about it, I was just curious. Really, it's good enough that you know this much. I'm kind of impressed.
I've been studying body language for a while now.
Okay, thanks.
Feel free to come talk more if you want.
No more questions. Sophia? Why do you work with Mr. Auten?
Mr. Auten values my services. I am a trained professional and an excellent personal assistant.
That wasn't really an answer. What I meant was, why did you choose to work for him?
I have personal reasons, but my employment is both legal and morally sound.
Again, not what I was asking. But fair enough. Mr. Auten has some sort of a vault at a bank.
He did not. Mr. Auten didn't trust banking institutions very much. He preferred to play the stock market himself. His belief was that he should be allowed to do as he pleased with his own money. And if he lost it all, then it was his fault.
Auten coin, baby.
He'd rather lose everything on his own than gain a little interest from a bank playing it safe.
Auten coin going to the moon. Alright. Was Mr. Auten planning to cut Liam from his will?
He was. Liam's actions were very costly in terms of both money and public image. Mr. Auten wanted to punish him for his cavalier attitude. When Liam took up dogfighting a few months ago, that was the last straw. Last week, Mr. Auten informed Liam that he would no longer be inheriting anything.
Good riddance. How did Liam take that?
He was furious, naturally. He called Mr. Auten a selfish and greedy old man, and he said that he'd make him regret his decision.
Well, that's sus.
Mr. Auten never got around to doing it. A lawyer was scheduled to visit next week. As it stands, all of Mr. Auten's fortune now belongs to Liam.
Unfortunate. How convenient for Liam. Killing somebody seems like a good way to get revenge, although I don't think Mr. Auten regrets much now that he's dead. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. Definitely too easy of an answer here. I'll come back later.
Of course.
No more questions! Save at the room. Fridge. Fridge is pretty well stocked, but it's all prepackaged food. I guess no one cooks around here. Damn it, con guy, I'm a personal assistant, not a personal chef. Microwave, it's very clean. Sophia really keeps things tidy around here. There's hot tea in here. Naoki probably made it. This door leads back into the hallway. It's a dish towel. It's about as exciting as a limp towel. This is a hell of a stove setup, let me tell you that. Just a normal kettle. Nothing suspicious about that. A spoon with a hole in the bottom. Probably not too useful for serving soup, but perfect for straining pasta. A small jar of salt. Looking at how large the grains are, I'd guess kosher. This is a hell of a ventilation. Oops. This is a hell of a ventilation hood up here. Some spoons and a spatula. They're all a bit dusty. Yep, goes to show how much he actually cooks in here. Fair enough. There's a recycling bin in here. About half full of glass and plastic bottles. Yeah, the large grain is pretty much enough to identify it as kosher salt. This isn't the only difference between kosher salt and natural other salt. It's just large grain salt. Hey, we're thinking too much about salt here. Let's move on. I don't think there's anything else to see here, so let's go. Wait, security room. Let's go talk with our dude. I tried the door, but it doesn't open. I thought Kevin said he'd be in here. I knock on the door and I hear the sound of footsteps. The door slides open.
What's up?
You said you'd be here?
Yeah, I did. What do you want?
I crane my neck to peer over Kevin's shoulder. The room behind him looks mostly empty. I can see the glow of television screens across the wall. Can I come in? Kevin frowns, but he steps aside to let me in.
Sure, why not? Since Mr. Auten hired you, you'd probably be allowed in here anyway.
We don't need to tell that. Oh shit, hello. Doesn't take long to scan the contents of the cold room. There's not much on the tile floor save for a single chair. A long counter stretches across one wall. There's a lonely keyboard and mouse. Mounted on the wall are several monitors, all flickering with images of various rooms in the house. At first glance, it appears to be a room meant for a high-security corporate building, rather than just a house.
Welcome to my Fortress of Solitude. This is the command center for the entire house.
Nice, holy shit. A lot to talk about. So you can see everything from here?
Not everything. Mr. Auten's office is strictly off limits. Very private, you know. No one knows what he does in there.
He folds his arms across his chest and scowls. Gotta be a pretty powerful tower over there in the corner to power everything in there.
As if it isn't obvious.
Obvious? What's obvious?
Mr. Auten never likes to be far from his booze. His solution to anything stressful is to drink it away. Of course, he tries to hide it because it's not very professional, but every time he walks out of that room, he reeks of alcohol.
Can you think of any reason why someone would want Mr. Auten dead?
You're kidding, right?
No.
You must be new around here. Mr. Auten's infamous around these parts. He's a ruthless sort of dude. Any little guy tries to start something new, he crushes them. Poaches employees, spreads rumors, heck, he's even brought in the courts multiple times. He'll say that these other companies are infringing on his trademark or something equally stupid. Of course, that's only the stuff we know about. If you ask me, he's got more than just dirty business practices going on. I mean, seriously, look at this place. No one builds a house like this in the middle of nowhere unless he's got something to hide. If he's not doing something illegal, I'll eat my motherboard.
That leads nicely into my next question. Why do you work for Mr. Auten?
The money. Duh.
That was a stupid question. I'm sorry. You said he's probably doing illegal things. Doesn't that bother you?
Never actually witnessed him do anything illegal, and maintaining his security system is harmless. So even if he goes down, I can't be held responsible for anything.
In other words, you really don't care where the money comes from as long as you don't get in trouble.
Yeah, pretty much. Why, should I?
Fair enough. I'm starting to think that I'm not going to like anyone in this house. These are the people Mr. Auten surrounds himself with. I can't imagine the sort of people he's trying to hide from. How'd you get this job?
Mr. Auten offered it to me.
Really?
Well, yeah, he handpicks everyone who works for him.
How'd he find you?
I graduated in the top of my class at a university.
Oh, shit. Sorry. He offered me this job straight out of college. That's pretty lucky.
Yeah, that's the word for it.
Whoa. Am I imagining things, or is he resentful about something? You know anything about Liam's nightlife? He strikes me as someone who... kind of just coasting through his professional life here. If that makes sense, you know? Who just shows up and puts in the work just for a paycheck. Of course that's the case, he's flat out admitted it, but... the pay's good, so he's got no reason to go seek out anything else that he might be better suited for, or might be more engaged by, but for now we're just putting in the hours.
You mean all the drinking and gambling, or extra stupid stuff?
Well, I was thinking about other things.
Oh, the dog fights then.
You knew about that?
Well, yeah. I'm the reason Mr. Auten found out in the first place. He asked me to track Liam's movements on his phone. Guess he didn't trust him. There's a surprise. Anyway, I noticed Liam was spending more and more time in a corner of town that's not really hot on the usual party clubs, so I did some more digging. Found out that Liam was watching dogfights, and in some cases, funding them himself. Big Will was furious when I told him. When you showed up, I thought he had hired a private investigator to get some proof. I guess it's kind of a moot point now.
That's all for now.
Come
Ta-ra
by
for
if you
now.
want to ask me anything else.
No more questions. Examine the room. Oh, okay. I doubt Kevin would appreciate it if I poked around all this stuff. Should probably wait for a time when he's not around. Okay. Come back then. Anything to see here? No. Oh, some old cobwebs. Home for rich reclusive spiders, I guess. Hopefully not recluse spiders. It's It's locked. Guess there's no hope of going in there. Alright, well. You've seen everything we can see in here. I suppose next up, let's go back to Gursky. At the door to Mr. Alton's office. It's locked. According to Lee May, that means no dust settles here. I'm sure it's a very deep and profound statement. Sort of art screen. It looks very old. Hi, Gursky. Do you really think Mr. Auten was murdered? Detective Gursky sighs and rubs his temples slowly.
I don't know, kid. I can't just march in and declare it's a murder without any evidence. For all we know, he committed suicide.
Do you think he killed himself?
Hard to say. His reaction when he saw you certainly was unusual. It's not a level of fear you see in most people. He very likely could have done something foolish in response.
So you think it's my fault?
Now, I never said that. There are a lot of things that might drive someone to suicide, but in the end, it's still the decision of the individual.
Yeah, I know. Even if they're not in a particularly... Even if they're not in there. Gursky studies my face carefully before he speaks.
Back then, didn't you...
Yeah, I did. Really don't want to talk about it. Rocky and the others really convicts. So, it sounds to me like him and his sister really did go through some serious shit before she died and they left.
Well, technically, no.
No?
They're not on record as having committed any crimes.
But Lee May said that you were their parole officer.
Handler is more like it. I'm supposed to make sure they don't cause any trouble.
He rolls his eyes.
That'll be the day.
More trouble? What sort of stuff have these guys been up to? What do they even do?
Hustling, mostly. The twins ran a lot of cons. Aki's got some sort of charm about her that makes people trust her. She's really manipulative, and her life is nothing but moral gray. Naoki's a good kid, but he'll do anything his sister tells him to do. And he's a fast learner. He can pick up on pretty much anything. They came to Edgewater 2 years ago and wreaked havoc for a good year before we finally caught them.
Well, rubs his head slowly as if an old headache had just found its way back to him.
But Aki is Aki. Somehow she managed to cut a deal. Clean records in turn for their special services. So now the government uses them as investigators, spies, or anything else requiring a quick mind and an expendable body.
That's why she said that they're a special investigation agency.
It's not an inaccurate statement.
Technically the truth.
And on that note, be careful about what she says. She's not a liar, but she likes to tell misleading truths.
What about Lee May? Where did she come from?
I'm afraid that's classified information.
I raise an eyebrow, but I don't press the question. It's obviously not something I want to get involved with. Interesting collection of individuals. Do you know Mr. Auten has a vault at the bank?
I assume most rich people do. Why do you ask?
I can trust you, right? I heard him mention something about keeping a vault safe before he died.
That's strange. I didn't hear anything.
Maybe I just made it up.
No,
That's
you're
also-
probably onto something.
That's also a weird way of wording that.
Although, looking at his lifestyle, I'm actually inclined to think that any vault he cares about would be in this house.
How do you know?
He rarely leaves the house, and security here is tight, even for a high-ranking official. It's obvious that he has trust issues. Someone like him wouldn't let a bank hold on to something important. Besides, I'm sure he'd want to keep a close eye on it too. If there's a vault, it's definitely somewhere in here.
Gursky's right. It has to be hidden in this place somewhere. Wonder if anyone here knows about it. Mr. Auten was gonna cut Liam from his will.
Well then, that's an interesting turn of events. Do you know why?
One too many run-ins with the law, it seems. The big one, apparently, was him getting involved in dogfighting. Detective Gursky grimaces.
That would do it. Am I to assume that Mr. Auten never actually got around to making this all-important change in his will?
Yeah. Sophia said that the lawyer was going to come by next week.
Great.
What we talk about? Never mind. No more questions!
Alright then.
Not really much more to do down here. Oh, as I enter the lobby, Aki races down the stairs and nearly runs me over. Hi, Aki. Whoa!
Oops, sorry, Con.
Where have you been?
I was just upstairs with Liam.
Doing what exactly?
Oh, don't look at me like that. It's not what you think.
Of course. And by doing what I mean doing a bit of manipulation.
For your information, I was just asking Liam about the staff. Did you know that none of Mr. Auten's personal staff are paid?
What? What? That can't be true. Kevin said that Mr. Auten pays him well.
Well, then Kevin was lying.
And what makes you think Liam wasn't lying?
Let's just say that he strongly believes it's in his best interest to be truthful.
AKA, you poked and prodded around his head a little bit. In other words, you used your Kansei.
Got it in one.
Mr. Auten doesn't pay anyone. Why do they work for him?
Kevin's family owns a small business that's in serious trouble. Mr. Auten pulled a few strings to keep the creditors away, and they'll stay away as long as Kevin works for him.
Oh shit.
As for Sophia, it seems her husband's heart is failing. Mr. Auten promised to move him to the top of the recipient list for the company's new organ creation project.
Whoa. So basically he gets people to be completely devoted to him by holding on to what they love. In the end, he doesn't have to pay a cent.
I have to admit, I'm actually kind of impressed.
This is getting complicated. It certainly is. This is a lot to take in. And now is your chance to go away and process it all. Until next time. Until then, thanks for watching.